Hello and welcome to the funny farm. Right, I'm doing a backyard bullion sort of style of thing. I think it's going to be the easiest way to convey whatever the hell it is I'm going to convey. There's some people out there in the world being strange, so I just wanted to. Well, I'm doing another one of these. Gold and silver. Why does it matter? Why is it money? What does any of this stuff mean? Right, okay, so about 2,000 years ago, there was a guy called Augustus, I believe, Emperor Augustus, this Roman emperor, and he's obviously trying to keep hold of the tangible aspects of the empire, and he's having a tough time with currency, money, tradable things. Obviously, Roman Empire kind of important for them. And, you know, you've got people in the far-flung bits of the empire trading in glass beads. You know, you've got other people trading in cattle. You've got other people trading in fish. And they didn't have a uniform way of taxing all of these commodities. So he said, right, enough of this. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to come up with some coins. Right, some trading tokens, something that people can, you know, swap in exchange for goods and services. He said, how much gold have we got? How much silver have we got? And then basically they got a pound, which was, I don't know, the weight of this seems to have fluctuated over the years. I'll come back to that. Right, but anyway, he got what was equivocal to a pound of a precious metal, and he said, how many coins can we get out of that? How many, like, precious metal trading tokens can we get out of the out of this big lump of metal? And they figured it out. They said, all right, well, what we're going to do is we can get 25 silver denarii to 1 gold Arius, which made 100 silver denarii the equivalent to 1 troy ounce, right? And that set a gold to silver ratio of 10 to 1, right? And that lasted for like 1,000 years. Then this guy came along, King Offa, right? He had a similar problem with his particular kingdoms and like his ability to trade with his regular neighbours. So he did a similar thing. It was about 1,200 years ago, give or take, roughly. A little bit later, King Henry II. This is scattered, right? But I'm not, you know, I'm just reading off a thing here. And it's scrawled out. So, right, yeah, King Henry II, right? He decreed, right, that a Tower pound, right, so you have the Roman guys say, all right, our pound is, now this is the interesting thing. So when King Henry II decreed that a Tower pound, which is documented at being 350 grams and not the 450 grams that it is today, we're going to carve up a pound into 240 silver pennies. So a pound of silver, which is, a pound of silver is this one. So that there is roughly a pound of silver, right? Just to give you an equivocal, there is another little lump in a velvet bag in there. Right, so there's a pound. And what the hell is a pound? Right, well, a pound of rice looks like that. And obviously the commodities market, you know, whether you're trading in rice or spices or herbs or silver, all of these commodities factor a price depending on rarity and scarcity. So anyway, right, chasing that off for a minute because we're talking about King Henry II introducing the Tower pound. Right, we'll leave that in the middle for the minute. The Tower pound, let's imagine that's old King Henry II's Tower pound, and he's cut that up into 240 silver pennies. Not the ones that I have in stock at the moment, so I can't show you an example of the originals, but yeah, 240 pennies to a pound. Just think about that, 240 pennies to a pound. And that went on for a little while, right? So where do we get the denomination? So a penny, I've got a contemporary, there we go, right? So a penny used to be denominated by a D. So, and that was abbreviated from the original Roman denare. A shilling, of which there is one around here somewhere, but anyway, so a shilling became S, which was abbreviation from the original solidus, and the pound was abbreviated to the L, which with the additional little squiggle, I believe was representative of Libra or livre. So it all echoes through the ages. Right, anyway, where are we at in this mad timeline of this? So we've got a Tower pound being carved up into 240 silver pennies about 1200 years ago. And then, right, about 300 years ago, 400 years ago, in, where are we at? 1717, Isaac Newton, yeah, right, Isaac Newton was in charge of the Royal Mint, right? And he did exactly the same thing the Emperor Augustus and King Offa and King Henry did. And he reappraised the situation, and he set 21 shillings, right, which is basically 65 grams of silver, 21 shillings to 1 gold guinea, which is 8 grams. So when Emperor Augustus did that thing all of those years ago, 25 silver denarii to 1 gold Arius, the gold to silver ratio was 10-1. Did that for 1,000 years. And then there were a few other fluctuations here and there that were, implemented by some other kings, which basically just sort of like carving little bits of silver out of the pound, up until 1717, when Isaac Newton comes along and says, no, we're scrapping all of that, and what we're doing is we're coming up with a gold standard of 15-2, right? 21 shillings, 65 grams of silver to 1 gold guinea, which is 8 grams of gold, right? Then 100 years later, this is just mad, this shit. 100 years later, in 1816, there was something that happened called the Great Recoinage. Now, I'm jumping around here a little bit. Like when King Henry did his thing, right? The silver penny, was 1.3 grams of this new reduced purity sterling silver, the 925, the stuff that you see on all the jewelry, right? In the Great Recoinage of 1816, suddenly 3D, 3 pence, which is this little boy here, and that weighs 1.4 grams of sterling silver. So you see what happened there? In 100 years, between 1717 and 1816, we went from a penny, 1 penny, being 1.3 grams of sterling silver, all the way up to 1816, when suddenly 3 pence is 1.4 grams of sterling silver. Right? All right. In 1920, right, they took the shillings and the half crowns and all of that, and unified effort across the world, interesting, before the internet, and they reduced the amount of silver in the currency by 50%, right? So there is no longer the treasure of the nation being fully carried around in their pocket. Their money, as not only has it shrunk 1 pence of silver at a gram to 3 pence of silver at a gram, but now they've actually reduced the amount of silver in it from 925 to 50%. 1948, they just did away with all of that. They took all of the silver out of the money entirely. There was no more silver in the money, right? By 1979, Great Britain came off the gold standard. Now, Great Britain, like, because of its antiquated history, the penny, the pound, stretches all the way back to the Roman Empire, obviously, in the dissolution of the Roman Empire. So, it is quite important in the world of like precious metals, if you like. In 1979, we came off the gold standard. And we went on to the petrodollar, which is what everybody talks about now in terms of the fiat currency, the currency that isn't actually really backed up by anything. Right, so just have a little recap. 2,000 years ago, this guy goes, oh man, I'm fed up with people coming here trying to offer me a quarter of a cow as their version of a tax payment. So we're going to do this money thing, and it's all going to be made out of silver and gold. And based on scarcity, what we're going to do is we're going to say this many silver coins to this many gold coins, and that's going to be our money, right? We're doing that. We can tax it easy. And then about 1,000 years ago, a couple of other guys in, like kingdoms come and kingdoms go. So other guys in other kingdoms have had similar problems and gone, oh God, all right, well, that thing that guy did a long time ago, and now it's sort of diluted into chaos again. Well, let's just, have a recalibrate, and we'll, all right, how many silver things can I get out of this big silver thing? And, how many gold things have I got to silver things? All right, fair enough. Brilliant. And then, like I say, and then in 1717, Isaac Newton comes along and he goes, no, we're scrapping all of that. We're doing this, right? And that's where you get the gold ratio 15:2. By 1979, all of the gold in Fort Knox in America that's backing this petrodollar, which is now sort of like the international currency of exchange, is valued at $42 on the ounce. Right, at 1979, there are massive fluctuations. Like ever since Isaac Newton started buggering about with this, it's just gone haywire. 1979, right, gold in Fort Knox is worth $42 an ounce. Silver, I think, is trading about $3 an ounce, $5 an ounce. I mean, it did fly up to 50, but again, there's manipulations in the market, there's shortages and all this stuff like that. But anyway, we're just going with sort of like, I'm doing a very basic thing here, by the way. And then where are we now? In 2025, in 2025, our pennies aren't even made of copper anymore. Our banknotes, which used to be promissory notes, and like an old £5, it's a contract. I promise to pay the bearer on demand £5 of sterling silver. Now we've got this plastic money. I promise to pay the bearer on demand, and if you take this into the Bank of England, they'll just swap it for another £5, right? So over the last 1,000 years, they started chipping the amount of silver in our currency, in our standardized means of exchange, out of our pockets, right? And then Isaac Newton, wizard that he was, did this thing, and ever since then the gold to silver ratio has basically just gone mental. It was what is that, 300 years, and where are we now? The gold to silver ratio today is like 88-1 or 84-1, I think. It was at 90-1, right? 90-1. Now, just to put that into some sort of context, do I have? Yes, I do have. Right, so that's an ounce of gold. Right, 31 grams of gold. So 90-1, 31 grams of gold. I would have to have. What would I have to have? 1 kilo, 2 kilos, 2.5 kilos, plus 200 would be 8 of these. 1 kilo, 2 kilo, 1 pound, basically half a kilo, plus a few spare ounces, equates to this, an ounce of gold. So ever since 1979, when our money ceased to be worth anything and everybody started trading in stocks and shares, ETFs, nonsense, fictions, basically. And like the debt spiral started, and house prices boomed. It's all linked to this stuff, this gold and silver malarkey. And we've gone from having gold and silver in our pockets to being coerced into trading with, you know, when you put up your little phone to the little electronic pad and it goes blip. Like, and it's all backed on plastic money. Well, it's not backed on anything. I mean, commodities are interesting, right? There are so many commodities in the world. You've got gold, you've got silver, you've got wood, you've got spices, you've got herbs, you've got all sorts of things. Now, people go on about precious metals. Personally, I think the amount of places in the galaxy that you can find wood, which is, you know, fuel, it's little boxes, it's furniture, it's houses, compared to the amount of places in the galaxy that you can find dense and condensed mineral matter of various proportionate rarities. In my mind, wood's a lot more scarce than any of these metals anyway. So I think, you know, but with an audit of Fort Knox coming up and everybody being strange with gold and silver, and I just wanted to I just wanted to have a little think about that on camera, so that hopefully, I hope you've caught the gist of what it is I'm going on about there. Yeah, where's all the fucking money? And do we really want to play with plastic money, let alone digital non-existent money? Is this really like where we're at? Right, awesome. That'll do for now. Big hugs. Take care. Speak to you soon.